Greetings, viewers. Thanks very much for joining in this special broadcast where I will be joined with by a special guest who is a friend and someone I worked with in the past. And her name is Maya Vasilva. And I may have got that wrong because she got married recently, well, a few years ago, actually. So she will correct me in a moment. But she talks about a topic that a lot of women and couples who watch this broadcast are perhaps struggling with at the moment. And it's one of those topics that a lot of people feel a little bit shy, or it's a little bit taboo, but it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be. It's one of those topics that is sometimes sidelined a lot. And today I'm going to talk with Maya a little bit on how to overcome things like the female menopause and fertility problems. Now, I am no expert on this, but I know that a lot of people come to me routinely and talk about how they're going through emotional pain associated with this. And that's something that Maya can help with too. Now, before we dive straight in, I like to vouch for her. She's a very level-headed person, and she's very approachable, kind-hearted, and you will feel very much tuned in and at home in a session with her. So whether it's an in-person or a virtual session, that's irrelevant. I just know that it's going to be a quality session because I know her at a personal level. So without any further ado, I'm going to introduce Maya, and maybe Maya, can you tell the viewers a little bit about how you can maybe naturally help to enhance your state, your body, so that it is in the perfect state to either have a child or to have a child later?
Sure. Thank you much, Paul, for introduction. I'll just correct you slightly. You pronounce it almost correctly. You just missed the middle vowel. So my name is Maya Vasilva, and I am a women health vitality coach. This is how I try to present myself, because I use many different techniques which I apply specifically to women's health, reproductive health. And that's one of the topics which I'm very passionate about. And that comes from my personal experience, because as Paul said, I recently got married, and I was really keen to start a family straight away. But unfortunately, it didn't happen to me that easily, how it might have happened to other couples. So all this knowledge and experience, which I'm translating to the women, it's actually coming from my personal experience, from my personal pain, getting deeper into the knowledge, into the system, to understand where the cracks and misunderstandings lay. Before I actually answer your question, Paul, about how we can take steps and enhance our vitality and health, I just want to go back and talk about the methods which I use, so the viewers will be reassured what I am not talking about some spiritual things which for many people looks like unachievable, because not many people actually very spiritual or want to go in that realm. I want to reassure them, but wherever I use, it's actually a conventional scientific methods which are approved by the World Health Organization. They're not only approved, they're also recommended. But because of the system and how it's laid out in many countries, I'm not talking only about the UK, but also other countries around the world, they are not interested in using simple methods, which requires a little bit more input from the system and letting the empowerment of a patient and allowing empowerment of a patient rather than keeping all control within the system and handling the issue not at the root but at the symptom level. So I just wanted to lay this down, so that will be like our baseline and viewers would understand what we are not talking about something which might haven't been tested or approved. It is approved. It is actually taught at medical field. There are tons of research on those topics. But how I feel this information is misrepresented or presented in a wrong way or with wrong approach. So you might have heard of it, but because of that misrepresentation and the wrong approach, you either didn't get any result, or result was actually worsening of your symptoms, or you actually were not taught correctly how to use it and you just got discouraged by it. So what I'm trying to bring is just to say, hey, this is not a system problem, it's just misunderstanding. You can use it, it's workable, it has the same percentage of success as a just regular medicine. And why do you want to take a pill if you can do it naturally without any side effects?
That is awesome.
Yeah.
That is awesome. Thank you, Maya. That is really, really interesting, because I mean, on that last point, it's really important, if you can, to limit your exposure to chemicals, because we are exposed to so many different chemicals daily. And it's quite interesting because even on every single side of the cereal box, if you look carefully, there's so much in it, including sugar, on products that were in the past marketed as weight loss products. So, you know, that's interesting. I'm all for that. I'm sure that the viewers are all for limiting the exposure to chemicals. And I like the fact that it's been approved by certain bodies that are recognized as health authorities, like the World Health Organization. That is very, very reassuring. And it is wonderful that a lot of these natural techniques are being studied now by science, and there's a lot of powerful people verifying the effectiveness of these processes. So Maya, could you continue and tell me a little bit more about that?
On the last point, which you said about what has been recently researched, actually, these studies have been conducted, and these discoveries have been made last century. It's actually old data. It's been used in the past. So when I was saying about folklore or jokes about that, I'll just give you a couple of examples, okay? So it will be, I'll bring it back to home so you would understand what we're talking about. So there is widely known joke in UK. So how do you call people who use natural family planning?
I'm not sure.
Parents.
Ah, I love it.
So that refers to its inefficiency, what it's not reliable, right? And everyone has that stigma based on those little jokes and maybe, as I said, representation or misguided teaching or incorrect teaching, which has been done in the past. So these methods were around from early 90s when they actually been discovered. They were, it was all in early 90s when, sorry, not 90s, 20th century, sorry, I'm just,
yes, 20th. Yeah.
When they actually discovered all correlation and they started to figure out how actually women's body work, what fertility is all about. It's not only about women's body, it's about men's body. So it's all about fertility. So my topic is mostly fertility, and I specialize in a couple. So it's like how women and men, they yin and yang, and they they complement each other. And this is how it's supposed to be, and this is how we're supposed to treat us ourselves. However, nowadays, sexual life, it's all, although it's open and we have sexual education at school, but again, it's all translated to us from a wrong angle. We are teaching our teenagers what sexual life is bad, what it brings a lot of stress, a lot of anxiety. There is sexual transmitted diseases, there's unwanted pregnancies, there is so much bad coming from that. You can be abused, and you need to be very careful, but no one talks about beauty of it, a beauty of a relationship between man and woman, and most importantly, how men actually contributing to women's health in that respect, and vice versa, how our bodies are interlinked, and at each period, men helping women to develop at first, and then women help men not to go into andropause, same like female menopause. Men also have that stage. So it's a very beautiful picture. It's a very beautiful, I say, dance, but no one translates that message. So what I'm trying to say, again, misrepresentation, misinformation. So what the system trying to do, because we don't want those sexually transmitted diseases, we don't want those unwanted pregnancies, we want to put those teenagers on a contraceptive pill, we want to give them condoms, we want to give them, and that all killing their fragile health. Because for many years, contraceptive pill been around. It's hit market in 70s, and everyone were trying it, and everyone knows what there are so many side effects of it, not only physical but mental. And although for so many years since 70s, it's been developed and dosage kind of been readjusted to a minimum necessary to keep women infertile, it still damages the whole system, because there is no such thing as you can switch off one organ and not to break the whole system. And how they're translating what contraceptive pill is actually switching off your ovaries, and they're like on holiday, you're preserving your fertility. I'm sorry. Let's put your arm in a cast for many years, and we're preserving it. So when you actually need it, it will be in 100% shape for you. Is that true?
That's really interesting, because what people don't really understand is that everything is connected, right?
Exactly. And I am not talking about something, spiritual, something very high and above, I'm talking about very materialistic things which are misrepresented to us. And have you ever heard of that? What contraceptive pill is actually helping you to preserve your fertility? I always hear that, because majority of my clients, they come and say, well, I'm preserving my fertility because I'm on a pill. It's kind of in the fridge, and wherever I want to use it, it's only 6 months, I'm off it and I will be fully fertile. Well, no, it's not. No one gives you guarantee what once you will take that cast off your ovaries, what they will function at all. So this, what I'm trying to say, the system, the health system, is not proactive, it's reactive. It's reacting to the issues which currently are biggest for them as a threat, budget-wise, resource-wise, etc. So they're not willing to give responsibility back to the patients, let's put to that teenager, but which is ridiculous in my mind, because we're teaching teenagers to drive, we're teaching teenagers to go university by themselves, relying on them to get education. Why we don't teach them how to use their own body to recognize and use it, the science, to make your own informed decision on your family planning, because it has exactly same percentage of efficiency as contraceptive pills. So the contraceptive pill efficiency is 0.3. 0.3 coefficient is coming from the Pearl coefficient, which is defining any contraceptive device, method, or system into its efficiency. So they're looking into the number of women falling pregnant by using any contraceptive method within a year correctly, and assessing how many out of, let's say, 100 fell pregnant. So anything which is one and above is ineffective, regardless.
Mm-hmm.
That means one woman out of 100 users of particular method or pill or whatever method they're using fell pregnant. That means it's ineffective. But when it's 0 point something, and below a number, the second number,
Mm-hmm.
the better, the efficiency higher. So the highest efficiency is sterilization or the contraceptive pill. So, it's 0.3. And guess what is the efficiency of a natural family planning method called symptothermal double check method?
Wow.
Exactly the same.
Is
0.3. Yes.
Oh, that's very interesting because, yeah, I mean, what I really like about your talk is that you're talking in terms of verified data and you're comparing it to, so this technique to data that has been gathered in many scientific studies using statistical tests. And we're talking about a technique here, viewers, that is just as good, that is natural, and is just as good as taking the pill. Wow.
So I just want to verify to explain why they have this misconception and those jokes which coming from the past.
Mm-hmm.
So same as the contraceptive medical or chemical contraceptive methods, there are an array of them. There is also a number of different natural planning methods within that basket. So if you want to get the efficient one, don't, as I said, don't go with one which has a failing ratio. Go for the one which will be on the top efficiency for you. And of course, suiting your lifestyle, because also it's not everyone can go on a natural family planning due to personal circumstances, and those can be also found on the World Health Organization website. So what I'm talking about, all this information actually available publicly on World Health Organization website. If you will Google family planning, they have a big document looking into all contraceptive approaches, including natural family planning. You actually can Google natural family planning World Health Organization, and it will give you a link to that document. And at the end of that document, there is a big table where all these efficiency Pearl ratings are, and you will see what symptothermal method of double check is exactly same ratio as the contraceptive pill, and it has exactly same requirements, because contraceptive pill doesn't protect you from sexually transmitted diseases, same as the open intercourse using the natural family planning. So this is the only side effect or like negative things about this. You need to have a constant partner with it. But even so, people who are on a contraceptive pill, they are not bothered about those sexually transmitted diseases. So maybe whoever want to risk that, maybe they can use a natural family planning as well in those circumstances. But what I'm just trying to say, it's all available, it's all there, and the problem is the system is wired that way. Healthcare system is wired that way. What they want to keep all control within them. For them, is easier to have to see a patient 15 minutes per visit, prescribe them mini pill, any contraceptive medication, and off you go for the rest of your life. If you don't have side effects which are killing you, you're good for the rest of your life, basically. But they don't want to deal with education, promoting the good health in the future, teaching the users, the patients, how it's actually interlinked with the male and female health. So it's a big topic. It's an educational program. My courses last 4 months in order to me being confident what the user is confident at the end of being self-efficient in analyzing their own data. They can do it with no problem. They don't have any questions, and it's personalized. It's not tablets which have been mass produced with a dosage which might be or might be not tolerable by your body. You know, this is very personalized, and there is no same woman in the world, because even though you have a very regular cycle, it might be depending on your life circumstances month to month, your ovulation, and women are very they are very hormonal. They're very dependent on different cycles and a wave of hormones to come and go, and that is very important. And when you learn that about yourself, when you understand that about yourself, you can support. And this is where I'm coming with answering your first question, which about how to support, how to go into menopause, how to support yourself, your vitality. So once you actually know your body, and you have this data which every day shows you how your body reacts to certain circumstances, to certain problems in your life, or maybe happy moments in your life, you would be able to analyze and make informative decision for yourself how to support yourself. So that is when you actually are working together with your physiology, and where you're looking, okay, today I want to sleep at 10 a.m. or p.m., right? And this is what's happened to me the next day. Tomorrow I will go to bed, let's say at 9 p.m., right? And this is what will happen to me. So how does it work for me? How my body reacts to more sleep, less sleep, more stress, less stress? What's happening with my hormones as we're approaching to the menopause? People complaining on menopause when it's already hit them, but they never have. Has anyone ever told you that menopause starts 10 years before it's actually the symptoms hit you?
Oh, right. Oh, that's interesting.
Yes. So the first signs of menopause actually starts 10 years before. So when it's exactly the same as with puberty. When girl is born, she has 10 to 13 years to develop, to get into her natural cycle, when her hormonal system is kind of turning on. And it takes another 10 years to establish. When we have 10, 15 years of reproductive age, right? And then there is another 10 years when we're actually winding down, hormones are winding down, and then menopause hits. This is how our women health works. And this is why I said men are helping female at the beginning to develop. At the end, they help them to go into menopause smoothly.
Wow.
So this is a beautiful dance in the couple, where male and female help each other, and male have exactly the same problems as females. They're just not that pronounced in symptoms as females are, and they might be avoided. So there is andropause for male, which starts about age 40. I don't know, you started to feel any I know. I will talk about later. I might give you a little consultation on that. But basically, at that time, there are changes within hormonal balances for male and female, for both of them, as women winding down and male winding down. But for female, it's slightly different, because before the actual switch off of her system, she has a final ball. So majority of women, they find what in their 40s, they kind of have that energy, vitality, and lots of women nowadays have kids around that age, like myself, because this is a last chance, and this is when the system kind of giving its all, you know, before it's actually going to switch off.
That's
so,
very, very interesting, Maya. I think that's amazing that it goes full cycle. Maya, we're running out of time now, but what I would like to say to the viewers is that if you would like to connect with Maya and make sure that you reap the benefit of this amazing technique, I would highly recommend. I mean, you know, she mentioned there's information online, but it's very important to do things in the right way. So, you know, go and educate yourself and go to a consultant like Maya for family planning. I think this is also a message for anyone out there who is in education, and the way in which we pitch education to the youth should be seriously looked at, because there are a lot of things out here that are scary, but not everything is. And, you know, it depends on how you look at things. A relationship can be wonderful. A relationship can be horrible, but you must strive to make it a good relationship. Otherwise, you've got no chance. So what Maya's really hit on a lot of very important topics here, viewers. And what I'm going to do is put a little bit of a translation in a couple of other languages, because Maya has an audience in other countries which she would like to target and help out. She's a very helpful person, and I'd like to again stress that she's always helped people. So thanks for joining us, and thank you, Maya, for your insight. I really appreciate your time, and I will see you in the next broadcast. Maybe we can do a part 2.
For sure.